50,000 years ago, two distinct kinds of humans walked this planet, both hunted, both dreamed, both made fire, crafted tools, and stared into the night sky, wondering what lay beyond the stars. One of them was us, Homo sapiens. The other was the Neanderthal, our closest extinct relative. This isn't just a story about ancient history. It's a family saga, a tale of cousins born from the same ancestral spark who found themselves in a quiet, desperate struggle, not for territory, but for the very right to exist. Imagine the scene. A frozen tundra, 50 millennia in the past. Two groups are visible in the distance. One is broader, shorter, powerfully built, wrapped in thick furs Neanderthals. The other is leaner, more gracile, carrying sharper, more refined tools, Homo sapiens. As the icy wind blows between them, it carries the seeds of a conflict that will define the future of our planet. The world they inhabited was locked in the iron grip of an ice age. Massive glaciers had carved the northern lands into frozen wastelands. Herds of woolly mammoths, like mountains of fur and tusk, thundered across the icy plains. This was a world ruled by predators. Cave lions, dire wolves, and giant bears stalked the shadows, a constant threat to anything that moved. And within this brutal, beautiful world, two branches of humanity not only endured but thrived. In the icy landscapes of Europe and the Middle East lived the Neanderthals, and spreading out of Africa, moving north and east, were the Homo sapiens. Both carved their lives from stone and bone. Both lived by the warmth of fire and the chill of fear. But, as destiny would have it, only one would survive the coming storm. The Neanderthals were true children of the ice. Their bodies were a masterpiece of evolution, built for the cold. Short, broad, and immensely strong, they possessed a physical power we can barely comprehend today. They were master hunters, taking down mammoths and woolly rhinos with heavy, fire-hardened wooden spears. Their hands could crush stone, and their large eyes could pierce the gloom of a blizzard. They lived in small, tight-knit family bands, bound together by the relentless demands of survival. They were a people of surprising depth. They buried their dead with care, tended to their sick and injured, and undoubtedly mourned their losses. They were not the brutish beasts of caricature. They were human, just a different kind of human. You can almost see them, a hunting party in a snowstorm, or a tender moment as one covers a fallen comrade with furs. The faint outlines of their art just visible on the cave walls behind them. Meanwhile, a new force was emerging. From the heart of Africa, across vast deserts and winding river valleys, came the others, us, Homo sapiens. We were built differently, taller, leaner, and perhaps more adaptable. We brought with us a new wave of technology. Our spears were tipped with razor-sharp stone points. We invented the otlotol, a spear thrower that allowed us to hunt from a safer distance with greater force. We wove nets to catch birds and fish, fashioned traps for small game, and used delicate bone needles to sew tighter, warmer clothing. But our most powerful weapon wasn't made of stone or bone. It was our imagination. Where Neanderthals had mastered the art of survival, Homo sapiens were beginning to master the art of innovation. We decorated ourselves with jewelry made from shells and bone. We painted vivid scenes of the hunt on cave walls, not just as decoration, but as stories, as plans, as magic. The map of our migration out of Africa and into Europe marks the beginning of a new chapter for the world. So, what happened when these two long-lost cousins finally met? It wasn't an immediate declaration of war. At least, not at first. Archaeological evidence suggests they interacted. They traded tools. They might have shared the warmth of a fire on a cold night. And we know for a fact, thanks to modern genetics, that they interbred. Many of us today carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA, a permanent echo of these ancient encounters. But beneath this surface-level cooperation, a quiet tension was growing. The resources of the Ice Age world were finite. Competition for the best hunting grounds, for the safest caves, for the very food they needed to survive, was inevitable. Two apex predators, so alike in mind and spirit, could not share the same ecological niche forever. The wary glances they exchanged as food became scarce were a sign of the storm to come. The first war between human species was not fought with organized armies and banners. It was a silent, creeping conflict, fought with hunger as its primary weapon. Picture this: a Neanderthal clan has been tracking a herd of reindeer for days through a frozen valley. They are close. Victory is in sight. But as they round a bend, they find a tribe of Homo sapiens already there, lying in ambush, their new, longer-range weapons at the ready. A tense silence hangs in the frigid air. Then, a shout, spears fly, stones crack bone, the pristine snow turns red beneath their feet. By the time the brutal clash is over, the reindeer are gone, and so are half the hunters from both sides. This wasn't a war of conquest. It was a desperate, bloody scramble for survival. But the ultimate advantage wasn't just in muscle or weaponry. It was in the mind. Homo sapiens learned to outthink their powerful cousins. We developed more complex strategies. We dug hidden pit traps in the snow, camouflaged to catch unwary prey. We coordinated vast, organized hunts that spanned miles of open ground, using our endurance to run animals to exhaustion. We used pigments to mark trails and smoke signals to communicate over long distances, allowing different groups to work together. We turned the raw act of survival into a complex strategy. And slowly, methodically, the balance of power shifted. From a distance, a Neanderthal group might have watched smoke signals rising on the horizon, a clear sign that the sapiens were coordinating, and realized with a sinking feeling that the game was vanishing faster than ever before. And so, one by one, the fires of the Neanderthals began to go out. As the Ice Age intensified in its final phases, the ice sheets advanced once more, and the great herds of megafauna grew scarce. Caves that once echoed with the sounds of families and laughter fell silent. The end was not a single, cataclysmic event. It was a slow fade into oblivion. Some may have been absorbed into the growing sapiens populations, their children carrying a dual legacy, but most simply vanished into the cold, their communities becoming too small to be sustainable. Their bones left beneath the frost to be discovered tens of thousands of years later. Their world ended not with a bang of conquest, but with the whimper of hunger, isolation, and the relentless march of time. When the great glaciers finally retreated and the climate warmed, only one species of human remained to witness the new dawn. Homo sapiens. We spread across every continent, a tide of humanity that could not be stopped. We painted the breathtaking masterpieces on the walls of caves in France and Spain. We hunted mammoths across the vast, frigid tundras of Siberia. We built the first boats and sailed across open seas to lands no human had ever seen before. In the ashes of our cousins' extinction, we found our destiny. The age of the Neanderthal was over. The age of man had begun. But they were never truly so different from us, those who came before. In a very real sense, they never completely left. We carry their legacy in our biology. Their strength is in our bones. Their memory is written in our blood. Their echoes whisper to us from the small, but significant, parts of our DNA that still trace back to those ancient encounters in the ice. 50,000 years ago, the Earth was home to at least two kinds of humans. Today, it holds only one, But when we look up at the stars, when we dream of the future, when we face our own struggles and fight to survive, we are not entirely alone. Because within each of us, a small part of them still lives on. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into our incredible shared past. We'll see you in the next one.